Look, I know that this might trigger some people, but it needs to be said. If you're doing 3 sets of 10 with the same weights you've been using for the last 6 months, you're not training. I'm speaking more specifically to the 30, 40, and 50-year-olds who want to get in shape so they can live a better and healthier life, so they can sculpt their physique the way that they want, and also keep it for life. You're moving, but you're not training. And if your workouts aren't pushing your limits, you're stalling. I know that you probably have heard this a lot, but it's one of the most real things ever. And I think that you need a little bit of accountability, because if that's you and you're struggling to see results, it's honestly that's the main reason why. Let's start here. Most people think that they're training hard, but they're not. They confuse sweating with intensity, or they think being tired after a workout means it was effective. But effective training is about stimulus. It's about pushing your muscles close to failure and even honestly to past failure. So then your muscles can learn how to adapt to a new stimulus. In resistance training, the most growth and adaptation comes from the final 2 to 3 reps that are the hardest to complete. Now, if you make every set like that, that will surely push your body to new limits. Think about it like this. You're here and you have to push yourself to failure and past it, which will get you into this new realm where your body hasn't worked that hard before. In that new realm, the last 2 to 3 reps is where the growth comes from. That's the new stimulus that your body has to adapt to. But if there's none of that and you're just still pushing intensity-wise, it's there, blah, 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 over the course of 6 months, but your weights have not changed, your reps have not changed, no new stimulus, and that's exactly why you haven't been seeing results. If you're stopping too soon or just coasting through reps, your body has 0 reason to change. Working out is moving your body. Training is moving your body with purpose, progression, and precision. Working out can be random. Training has structure, a goal, a plan. It involves tracking your lifts in a notebook or in an app, increasing loads over time, managing volume, effort, and rest, which a lot of people don't really know how to do because they just train hard, forever, but their training is super intense, but they're not progressing, and it's just random and weird. Science calls this progressive overload, when you're actually managing your volume, your effort, your rest, and you're increasing loads over time. And it's a non-negotiable if you want visible results. Here are a few red flags. You're using the same weights you did 3 months ago. You're doing half reps during the whole set and not locking out. You're resting 15 seconds between sets and wondering why you're not stronger. You're prioritizing variation and changing up the plan all the time over execution. You're showing up, but there's no progression week to week. Your body only adapts when it has to. If the workout feels the same every time, your body stays the same too. Real training means you're logging your weights and your reps. You're aiming to add weight, reps, or control each week. You're leaving 0 to maybe 1 rep in the tank, and maybe busting out a few half reps at the end of the set for maybe some accessory exercises, and probably not compounds. You're choosing exercises that allow for strength, stability, progression, and proper form. Not random toning, body weight workouts, because that won't do really anything for you in the long run. You're focused on execution over exhaustion. Training should be uncomfortable. It should be a little bit painful. Maybe, not really sloppy, but maybe sloppy with some like half grinder reps if you're really trying to push it. But it needs to be hard enough so then that way you can demand change. If you're afraid of failure, you'll stay average. The discomfort you're avoiding is the exact thing your body needs to grow. Muscle doesn't come from just showing up. It comes from intention, tension, and progression. You have to be honest with yourself. Are you really training? Let me know in the comments. Or are you just showing up and moving through the motions? This is something I do with all of my clients. Like, it's something I coach them on all the time. And of course, you're gonna have your days where you feel low and you actually don't have the energy to push yourself in this way. I get one of those days at least maybe like once a month or every couple weeks. And it is what it is, right? But 80 to 90% of the time, my training is focused in this way. And, also there's science to back it. You do need to push like to failure, or at least very close to failure, or at least a little past failure in order to actually change your body. It needs a new stimulus. And if you can insert that stimulus into your week of training every week, even just a little bit by increasing the reps, increasing the weight, honestly, increase the reps first until you're at the top end of the rep range for an exercise. And then when you're there for pretty much all sets, increase the weight by 5 to 10 pounds. Boom, lower reps, but you're still training hard as fuck, new stimulus. So if you've been stuck or spinning your wheels, it's not that you need a totally new program. Like, actually though, you can get a shit ton done with a basic ass program if you know how to train properly. But that's why I joke about training being harder than nutrition, because nutrition is pretty fucking easy. It really is, especially when you know how to manage going out with your calories, you know how to cut down carbs a little bit when you need to, you know how much protein, it's fucking pretty easy. But the training part and being consistent with that, mentally, it's a mind game. Like, it's fucked, because you have to be on top of this weekly. Like, you have to. It's not that hard when you put it on paper, but to push yourself there, I would say, is the hardest part. But that's how you physically get yourself to change. Like, for me, like, and how I built my body, most of it is how I've trained over the years. Taking every session, like pushing myself to the max, to the point where, and this is not healthy, but training to the point where I've wanted to throw up, or not wanted to throw up, I never want to throw up, but training to the point where I almost throw up because it's so fucking hard. That's how hard I'm pushing myself. You should not be training that way, by the way, but you should be training very, very hard, right? And when you have your nutrition in check, and it helps you feel these types of workouts and this type of training, but when that's locked in, that training, man, your body changes fast. And that's one of the biggest things that I see, that people who are overweight, obese, or who are a little bit smaller, I want to build muscle and lose like 15, 20 pounds. Like, that's the one thing that I see that you can capitalize on to actually get the most bang for buck out of your time when it comes to your health and your fitness. And that will like put you miles ahead of just coasting, or even most people, just because like you're actually making the most out of your time. Train hard. And if you want to learn how to actually do it in a way that fits your schedule, supports your goals, and gets you the results without burning out, that's literally what I help my clients do. Shoot me a message on Instagram if you want to learn what real progress can actually feel like. And if nothing else, remember this: you don't need perfect workouts. You just need to stop half-assing the ones you are already doing. So let's get after it. Thank you guys so much for the love and support on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, and on my social media accounts. For real, goes a long way. If you guys have any questions or whatever it may be, make sure to reach out and message me, show love on this video. I'd appreciate that a ton, and I will catch you guys in the next one.